Hey, welcome to my video. I'm Jennifer Roberts. You're catching me on my YouTube channel, True Divine 44. You can also catch me on my Facebook page, True Divine, and it is the True Divine for both Instagram and Twitter. Any likes, shares, subscribes, and comments are greatly appreciated on any or all of those platforms, and much love to everybody who does that thus far. So this is part of the free content that I put out on a daily basis to help support, guide, and inspire those who want to be supported, guided, and inspired. It is up to you as the listener to only take what resonates with you and leave the rest behind. Um, take what resonates with your heart. Try not to manipulate any reading to with your mind, because you can bring things in that you didn't necessarily have to bring into your life at this present point in time. So this is for the 3rd of August 2020. I just want to do a side note of, the readings have been ramping up energetically wise. The energies are ramping up again to big things happening this week. Big revelations being made, big shocks being learned about. Things that that will be very difficult to transmute and handle, which is why I've been going on and on and on. I know about the inner work, getting yourself aligned with yourself, and then spreading that out to get yourself aligned with the people that you are around, the things that you're doing, the things that you're willing to stand for, and the things that you're willing to stand against. And it's important now more than ever to be setting yourself in the right place this week, because it will be a tough week and it will be a tough time to swim through this energy that's being thrown at us. But we can do it. But we can only do it if we are undivided. If for once we realise that we've all been played, every race, every colour, every creed has been played by this Greek-Roman rule that really must fall this time. And the atrocities that go with them can go down the plug too, as far as I'm concerned. But we can only do this if we are aligned with self. The only reason they've gotten away with it for quite so long is because we've externalized deities, we've externalized energy, we've externalized responsibility, and we haven't had our divinity and sovereignty in true form in mass numbers for a long period of time. Their script only works when we aren't standing in our divinity and in our sovereignty and in our truthful knowing place. And so it's for us individually to take it on board and do something bloody about it and get in alignment, no matter what that takes, no matter how upsetting or fearful that might make you feel. There's much more at stake here. So that's a roundup of the week. But for the 3rd of August 2020, we've got the Ace of Cups, but it's in reverse, wouldn't it be? So this speaks of emotional blockages. If you look at this cup, it's upside down. Everything that is good is spilling from it. And not only that, it's, sort of magically splashing back. It's an illusion. So it's an illusion that you don't have control over this emotional problem that you may be dealing with. If this resonates with you, it is in your control and in your full capacity to be able to release that emotional block, to be able to stop suppressing whatever emotion it is that you may have been dodging, facing for many years, 20 years, even 15 years, 10 years, 8 years, whichever resonates with you. Those are the numbers that come out for me. 3 years also. And so it takes the lack of fear to see that this is a magical illusion that you're playing upon yourself, and that this is something that you can overcome and will overcome with clarity. And da 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 da, we've got the Ace of Swords. This is the sword of truth. This is clarity in itself. This is intelligent. This is intelligence. This is integrity. This is truthful speaking. And with that, in the second card, we've not only got the Queen of Swords, but clarifying her, we've got the King of Swords. So there is truth being spoken, no matter how uncomfortable it makes your emotions feel today and, as I said before, in this week. And it's for us to be able to transmute those truths that might be difficult to take, difficult to understand at first. It's up to us to see through the illusions that have created this block for us to not be able to have this clarity and this knowing, this integrity, this truth. And so it is going to be both of these representing Gemini energy, Aquarius energy, air energy, fast energy, outside of the box, quick off the mark. So it's an unexpected change of position with that Ace of Cups. You may have been acting out of a Cups in reverse, an Ace of Cups in reverse, where you haven't been acting in integrity, you haven't been acting in honesty, you've been actually doing everything you possibly can to deflect from your inner grounds, from your blockage, from your emotional problem onto someone else, onto something else, and that ain't gonna wash this week. Truths are coming out. Truths about how things have been done, what is being said, what is being done behind the scenes, particularly on the collective stage. All of that is coming out not only once but twice with this King and Queen of Cups. For partnerships, it could resonate. Sorry, I was getting a thought there. For partnerships, it could resonate that you know, finally, you're willing to face each other um, with some truths, with some emotional truths, which will unlock and unblock those emotions in that Ace of Cups and bring that clarity. It's just the elephant in the room again, this fear of facing it, but something or someone or something outside will force this situation into play, and it might feel like it is the worst thing in the world that could possibly happen, but actually it is the best thing in the world, because none of us need to be putting our feet on rocky ground right now. None of us need to be positioning ourselves in foundations that are sinking, building houses, building towers on top of sinkholes. So although it might feel uncomfortable, although it might be quite a quick snapping back and forth Gemini type energy, it is very, very necessary. And if it is happening in your individual life, then as uncomfortable as it is, be blessed that you are attracting in lessons for yourself to prepare you for the things and the truths that are going to come out, the contradictions and the lies that are going to be seen through on the collective stage. Everything can be used for good. Even that is meant for harm can be used for good. And so an uncomfortable situation that could be a real blessing. It could bring up also this energy that has kept niggling on in the background every now and again over the last few weeks in particular, and this is the Seven of Swords. So this is theft. Theft of on the collective stage, theft of your brain, theft of your own intellect, theft of your own sovereign and divine thinking process, hijacking your mind through mainstream media, through propaganda, and through fellow friends and family on social media, who are falling for the codswallop that's coming out of the political stage, the religious stage, the the mainstream media stage, and they're then throwing that back at you, maybe getting at you for not wearing a mask, maybe getting at you for having a bit of a cold or having some hay fever, which would usually be completely normal for this time of year. So there's this hijacking of thought. Also, that it might be uncomfortable for quite a few of you, in that, this energy around you, particularly a family member or an acquaintance, a close acquaintance, um, has been meddling, has been stealing um, things that you've worked for, your thinking, your thinking process. There's trickery afoot with this card, and it's not very nice trickery. But again, because of these two characters here, this King of Swords and this Queen of Swords meeting together, which is like a powerhouse of truth, unbelievably so. Um, and it might be that this resonates for you in that this is your divine feminine and divine masculine, whether male or female in gender, really balancing out within, and you talking to yourself. Your divine feminine talking to your divine masculine, your divine masculine talking to your divine feminine, and coming up with a recalibration of self, a recalibration of your thoughts, of your intellect, of your clarity, of your grit, of your purpose and your strength, um, which is a fantastic thing also if this is resonating with you, because this is exactly what I was asking of people at the beginning of this video. So again, you will be a powerhouse if you can face yourself with yourself, the yin and the yang. Let your divine feminine be recalibrated to uphold and exalt in a way of showing the attributes and the way forward for the divine masculine that can then, in its exalted position, take the action. So you having this imbalance within, if that resonates with you, then this is damn awesome, because it means you've been doing the inner work leading up to this, and whatever this residual emotional block is with this Ace of Cups in reverse, true clarity, true knowing, true understanding comes in. There's so much air, there's so much intellect, there's so much talking, there's so much thinking in this day. It is unbelievable. It's huge, and it might feel taxing at times, but make the most of it. Get down nitty and gritty with those truths, as ugly as they may feel, and find the positive lessons that you can take forward within them. Find your firm foundation, your stance that you can take to go forward, whatever may be thrown at you, whatever you may find out, whatever may come to light, um, to figure out and deal with what is inevitably going to be seen and known of this week. Um, if you are the one that is being causing the trickery, if you are the one that has been meddling behind the scenes, trying to play with people's minds, trying to lie, trying to hijack people's thoughts, then it is time to initiate your own talking to self, in that, why did you feel the need to do this? Why did you have this need? And again, this will bring in, with the bravery of that, this clarity, this knowing, and it will release an emotional block that has been a huge strain on yourself, a huge strain in your life for a very long time. So even if you find yourself on the other end of this reading, i.e. not the receiving end, but maybe the causation end, if that's a word, or the catalyst end, you can still take huge positive notes from this day, in that whatever drove you to do that, whatever emotional block drove you to do that, however this Seven of Swords resonates with you, you can still have huge dividends for yourself, for the clarity and the knowing and the emotional healing. Because again, you know, the universe is kind when we are truthful, when we are in integrity, when we are in balance, and we attract it in. So even with that being said, whether you are on the receiving end of a meddler, of a thief, or you are on the side of being that meddler, being that thief, there is the Star card. And the Star card creates real healing, true healing, deep healing of deep-seated wounds, deep-seated hurts, deep-seated things that would hold you back and block you emotionally in particular. You know, there's the seven 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 stars. So it is the like representation of the Pleiades. It's this divine feminine healing energy. Whether you subscribe to that or not, it's basically this divine feminine healing energy where she is literally transmuting those wounds. She's pouring 2 jugs at the same time. She's got one foot in the pool of water, so she's connected with her emotions. She is not afraid to face self. No, she's been through this before. She's gotten good at transmuting energy and healing wounds properly, not leaving caverns under the skin to get infected and become distorted and make decisions distorted. No, she heals it up layer by layer. She's in no hurry. She's pouring 1 jug so that she's releasing those emotions, transmuting them in that pool of water and sucking up the energy from that pool of water through 1 foot. And she's got complete circuit connection to the ground also, where she's got 1 knee and 1 foot on the ground where she also pours the jug. So she's grounding herself. She's being truthful with herself. And because she's grounded, because she's connected, because she is the full circuit board, then she can truly transmute and heal wounds for good. That those wounds won't return. They'll become a scar that is a reminder, that is something of beauty, something that can take you forward. Take notice of your dreams right now. If this resonates with you, write down your dreams, because a lot of this healing happens in the sleep state, because at least in the sleep state, more often than not, if we're not doing meditation through the day, it's the only time that our subconscious can work to try and get through these emotional blocks and find some clarity and purpose. On top of that, with the Star card, the World card came out. So again, it speaks of that re-enter, be reborn into a reality and a world that makes you whole, that makes you truly happy, that doesn't have these emotional blocks in, that doesn't have the lies and deceit and the theft in, whether it's people around you or whether you are the thief. It matters not. There's true healing here. There's true unblocking of blocked emotions here. It's an illusion, as I said, that this water can travel, when it's in reverse, travel around and splash up back in your face. It is the illusion that it is unfixable. Just because you've had it for 20 years, 15 years, whatever it is, just because of that, that pays no mind to the Star and the World card. They're there for true healing always, for those that want to put themselves forward for that, for those that want to do the work to get there and be that and do that. There inevitably will be some people that aren't ready to do the inner work, that aren't ready to ground themselves and take the invitation to truly heal. And so it is important that when your intellect and your gut, your emotions can connect to know that there's a rabbit off somewhere, there's something going on either behind your back or there's forces working against you behind your back. Now this will resonate with everybody, because I can guarantee those on the collective stage, those globalists that don't love us so much, are working against us right now. Even if they're not working against your section of the community, which I guarantee they are at this stage, they still are, because one way or another they're working against humanity, they're working against the masses. So as brothers and sisters, you work against one of us, as it should be, you work against all of us. And so this resonates with everybody, whether you like it or not. But it will also resonate in a lot of your lives individually, because as above so below, it's reflected. And so alongside this emotional block, somehow, some way, you've been working with somebody, being around somebody, living with somebody, working with somebody, in a friendship with somebody, that you might be surprised and hurt at the fact that to learn that they've been working against you. It is what it is. Some people are ready to grow. It's important to try to not take it personally, as hard as that seems. I know, because it's important to look at the wider picture and see that these people may just have not been capable or able or had the right guidance to lift themselves out of this frequency, to lift themselves out of this stage that they have in their lives. And so it might feel very personal. Let it wash over you. Stand up for yourself. Um, Make sure you keep what is yours. Um, keep keep thoughts on business. Keep thoughts on your private life. Very private right now. In that, yes, share, but the details and things you don't need to be sharing right now today. It's not wise to do so. If this resonates with you at all, it's not wise to do so because it could be used against you by this individual. Um, it is important, though, to know that you are allowed to stand up for yourself without being um, violent, without being pushy, without being nasty, even. Just to do the inner healing, to unblock this emotion, to find out why you attracted this energy towards you in the first place, whether it's your energy, whether you're on the doing end or the receiving end, or whether you're even on the receiving end, you've attracted it in somehow, some way. So it's important to have that clarity of where that emotion is and how you can unblock it and receive this true healing. Um, and yes, stand up for your rights, stand up for um, what is yours, but at the same time, don't delve too far into it and take it on board personally, because it's actually, ironically, not your bag to carry. Um, it's not, if you're not doing it, then it's not your bag to carry. So the healing, sometimes we can get too focused on the person, on the relationship that we had with them, or on the timing of it, and actually that takes us away from the true healing of the star card. Because the true healing of the star card, whatever end of this reading that you're on, always recognizes that somehow, some way, it comes back to you and your energetic flow, your emotional flow, the blockages that you might be having. And that's where the true clarity and wisdom comes in, especially with this powerhouse of divine feminine, divine masculine, the house of air, the house of air, coming in, that is a powerhouse in itself. And if you can represent this as your divine feminine, divine masculine, you are on a brilliant um, trajectory to get onto your soul's path, and to do it in a very whole way. On the bottom of the deck, we've got the death card. It's time's up. On the collective stage, thank goodness it is tick tock time, in that these truths are going to come out, and it's not that I'm excited to hear everything other than the visions I've already had, but it is time. It's time for people who haven't been able to connect fully or do the research fully, to know that that it's going to be blatantly obvious. It's going to be very hard to challenge. So there's, on the collective stage, there is that. In our lives, this is a huge time, both planetary wise and energetically wise, that we've kept being asked to get ourselves aligned, get our lives aligned, get ourselves with the people around us that make us whole, that are honest with us and treat us with integrity and honor, grace, and um, strength. They strengthen us. So there is a time that there's a lot of things that need to be dying out in a lot of people's lives, and that's not a bad thing. It makes room for new fruits to grow, for fruits that are truly nourishing, that are just part of the next part of your experience, to see things in cycles and not get too hung up in staying in the loop. And the bottom of the other deck is the Lover's card, another air card, major arcana, but yes, another one representing Gemini. And it is asking us to make some major decisions in our life, But also, this is the powerful thing about this reading and so exciting to me, because it's what I deal with, it's what I work with to create this energy within people, this divine feminine and divine masculine balance within. This card is literally telling you, alongside these other two cards, get in alignment. Allow your divine feminine to be in its rightful position. You do that, and the divine masculine will be in its rightful position. The divine feminine holds the space and the time for the divine masculine to take the action. So this could be that you know that some people are finding themselves, once they make decisions to cut out the, the 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 dead buds. My granny always said, you know, debud the roses once they've bloomed and they've been pretty for a little while and they die off. Take the heads off, because it helps them grow better. Next time, it helps them grow better roses next time. By doing this, you're inviting into your life, maybe for those that this resonates with, a beautiful, honest relationship that is full of integrity. But more so, and more importantly, this reading is about the individual, because it's the time of the individual. Um, and it is about getting that divine feminine in its rightful place within you. So practicing your intuition, knowing your gut, practicing your compassion, your understanding, practicing nourishing yourself first, and then being able to nourish others with information, with love, with physical nourishment, as in food, good water, good things that build up a body. Um, so yes, but also this is where, most importantly, this is the divine feminine and divine masculine within you. With that divine feminine in place, like I said before, the divine masculine is in his most exalted position. You all know, whether it's the men that are listening right now, in that when you have a strong woman that is honest with you, that takes no shit from you, that is loving towards you, yes, but doesn't bend to your will, so to speak. It lifts you up. It feeds you. You feel like you could take on the world, being this King of Swords. Women, when you have a true master of a divine masculine energy come into your life, that it has the capacity and the strength to awaken and explore you as the goddess, and watch you grow, watch you find yourself through their admiration, find your strengths and lift you up, you feel like you can take on the world. So it stands to reason, when we do that within ourselves, with the balance of the divine feminine, divine masculine, not only do we feel like we can take on the world and make those major decisions, both that feel good and feel harsh at the time, um, we make them from a place of balance, a place of wholeness. And ironically, when you're in a place of balance and wholeness, if you are wanting to attract in a relationship that is whole and honest, even if it's an existing relationship, but you guys are ready with truth and integrity to truly level up into almost a new relationship with each other, because of this, this is what you bring in when you're balanced within, with your divine feminine, divine masculine. But it's going to take some major decisions, for a lot of people, to cut a lot of things out, a lot of people out of their lives. Major decisions to go in one direction or another. Um, Major business decisions. Again, when you're doing it from a balanced place, without fear, with that divine feminine, divine masculine within, you are going to ultimately attract in the very thing. You know, these two are fabulous at business. They're fabulous at negotiation. They're fabulous at making the deal. And so that is great for the collective stage, but it is also great for the individual lives itself. Now, be aware of backing the wrong person as well. Be aware of this energy. Don't fear it, but be aware of this energy. and seek out this energy in your individual lives. It'll set you up to be able to seek out this inner energy on the collective stage. So almost it's an important, not training day, because true things can be accomplished, but true things can be accomplished, and it is also training for the next stage in us standing together in truth, integrity, and honesty. So that's pretty much the read. Oh no, yeah, no, that's pretty much the reading for the 3rd of August 2020. If you would like a private reading with me, any spiritual guidance, any energy work, get in touch at True Divine on Facebook, or please don't message my personal page, not because I mind people messaging on there. I just get so many messages in there a day, it gets lost. So if you go to the True Divine page on Facebook, I can pick you up pretty quickly, and find out how I can help you, how I can serve you. Yep, or you can email with the details below. Either or is just as good, but go to the Facebook business page rather than my personal page. And much love, be balanced and be whole as always. Mwah. Love you and appreciate you all.